Now, we all love Fallout, and now thanks to the show, it's finally hitting the mainstream for people who aren't even gamers. And thanks to that, you're probably saying, "Oh, trash cans, you're just trying to ride the trend to get views." And yeah, you're right. I was trying to do that. But unfortunately, this whole game dev thing takes a long time, not even to mention how long these sick edits take and the time it takes to write all my schizophrenic ramblings down into the Google Doc. So it looks like I missed the mark on that whole trend thing, but the Fallout OGs got me. Now, originally laying out this video, I was planning to do it in a couple days. But after filling everything out on a Trello board, I realized it would take probably a full month to do everything in this list correctly and make it feel good and polished. Which is exactly why, for some reason, I chose to do it in 2 weeks. 'Cause I hate myself, I guess. Now, if you're a modern Fallout fan, sorry to the 12 people who still play these games, you'll know the games mainly consist of 2 colors. You got your greens, and you got your browns. Now, I love the brown Fallouts. Give me a good dirty New Vegas, give me a rural farmland 76, and I'm creaming my jeans. Which is exactly why I made the player capsule this beautiful little color. And luckily enough for me, Fallout has a very simple movement system that honestly most of the time does not feel good in the slightest, which makes that 2 videos in a row where I just copy and pasted a movement controller I made a month and a half ago. What's that you say? Repetition is the best way to learn how to code? I don't care. Look, it's moving around. Oh, are you watching this at night? Flashbang! Sorry, I think I passed out there for a second. What's going on? And with a nice texture, some lighting, post-processing, and some fog, we have created the 2010 creation engine look inside of Unity. Not really, but it's fun to say I did. I've just been informed that they didn't start using Creation Engine until Skyrim, and that New Vegas was made with Gamebryo. I understand if you think I'm a fraud and would like to click off now. Thank you for your time. Now, it's time to make a gun system, because apparently that's like a thing in the Fallout games or something. And to fit the Western theme I'm going with, I grabbed this low poly revolver off of the asset store. And I don't want to hear a single one of you complain about how I'm using pre-made assets when all of you love New Vegas, and that's just a literal asset rip of Fallout 3 just with a new coat of paint. Bite me! Thanks to Play the YouTuber for this awesome modular gun system. I majored in dumbassery at Dunce Academy, so God knows I wouldn't be able to make this gun system in general. And also, it took me 4 hours to debug the pre-written code he gives you in the tutorial. That's how stupid I am and bad I am at this. Now, I'm gonna make a recoil animation for the revolver so you can actually kind of tell what's going on, because generally in real life you can kind of tell when a firearm is going on. And now you can also swap weapons. I have no idea how I'm going to incorporate this system into a Pip-Boy, cause I'm not a programmer yet again. But we're gonna burn that bridge when we get there, I guess. But hey, look, the rifle also has recoil now. And, you know, yes, a real game dev would spend multiple weeks, if not months, perfecting and polishing every single one of these mechanics. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how it's gonna lay out when we're forced to do multiple of them every single day to reach the project deadline. But in better news, you can now swap weapons, shoot both of them, and have recoil and reload animations. I'm getting better at pretending like I know what I'm doing. Now, it's time to work on the Pip-Boy UI. If you don't know what UI stands for, it stands for, universally, I and everyone else hates doing this. What is a graphics raycaster? But, here you go. I know it doesn't look like it, but this took me 2.5 hours. I'm also not an artist. And yes, I know it looks like garbage 13-year-old commenter who's never made a game. It's called a placeholder asset. Okay, so right now I can't really do much with the Pip-Boy prototype. Jesus Christ, say that 10 times fast. Until we add things the player can actually interact with. Because if you've never played a Fallout game, why the fuck are you even watching this? And 2, the Pip-Boy has 3 main purposes. Manage your stats, manage your items, and manage your data, aka like your quests and your notes and stuff. And as of right now, we have no stats, we have no items, and we have no quests. So I'm gonna work on implementing a player health system, so we can actually, flesh out some mechanics. Because that's apparently what a game is. It's just a bunch of code and spit and tape and mechanics that a player picks up a controller with and shit talks on the internet. But thanks to my hot little European boy brackies, we now have a working and updating health system with UI. And with that, I made it so you can hurt yourself in the environment, open your Pip-Boy, and heal yourself. And yes, I'm going to make it so you can actually run out of healing items. Can you give me a goddamn minute? I'm named after a trash can. You should taper your expectations that you have of me. But with that said, I now made it so you can run out of Nuka-Cola and then pick up more in the world and have it update in your Pip-Boy. You're welcome. Now, everyone's favorite part of Fallout games, besides mutilating human beings, is cosplaying as a 70-year-old grandma who just hoards copious amounts of shit that their kids are gonna have to deal with when they eventually croak. So I made it so you can actually pick up individual items instead of having to run over them like Sonic's rings. Pretend this is Nuka-Cola for a minute. I then made it so that there's a center UI element that updates depending upon what you're hovering over. That's about all I did on day 4, because this UI stuff is buggy as hell and takes a very long time to implement. And surprisingly, I have a life and job outside of this YouTube channel that makes 0 money. And if you got a problem with that, bite me. I spent about 2.5 hours working on UI that displays your weapon's current ammo and updates when you switch weapons, but Unity did this awesome thing called crashing and deleted all of the work before I could even record it. Kill me! So I'm gonna call it quits on that for now and work on something a bit less mind-numbing. Instead, I decided to add a dog companion, cause recently my dog in real life passed away and I thought it would be a nice homage to her to kind of, I don't know, add a dog companion in the next video, because I miss her. Wow! Eesh! Way to kill the vibe, bro. Jesus! Just show the funny clip of it spinning around like a hockey puck. We don't need that whole sob story. So I imported the model, added a simple nav mesh, made this cute little bouncing animation, and now you got a little dog friend. I added this feature where if you don't want her following you, the way you dismiss her is just by fucking body checking her, and she'll fly across the map and stop following you. That's totally not a bug, I'm just calling a feature. Almost the entirety of day 6 was spent debugging the most brain-dead, mind-numbing code. I don't know why, but for some reason, when you have a different gun equipped, and you shoot and then switch back to your other gun, it saves that input and shoots the other gun you just switched to. I don't know why, I'm doing it in this clip, I'm not pressing shoot, but for some reason it saved that input, so when I switch to the next gun, it fires again, and again, and again, and I spent hours trying to debug it, and it didn't work. This is probably a really easy fix, and all the cool game programmers are sitting at the lunch table laughing at me, because I'm at the game designer table, and I don't know how to program, and I'm trying to program, and they're like, oh, look at this fucking idiot, you can't fucking program. We'll do it live. Fuck it. I'm the god of this world. I'm making the game. I'm making the YouTube video. Who needs 2 guns? Who wants 2 guns? You got 1 gun. You got the revolver now. That's all you got. Fixed. Problem fixed. You can't swap guns because you only got the big iron on your hip. By the way, you should subscribe. Look at this statistic. Only 95% of you aren't subscribed. I said that wrong. Look at, I don't even care if you're not gonna watch me. Just subscribe and then turn notifications for this channel off. I just like to see that number go up because it makes me feel better. Bigger number, better person and all that. Mwah. So instead of dealing with the weapon situation anymore, I decided to work on a main menu, because that's basically the easiest thing you can implement in any video game. And remember, this isn't Fallout because Fallout is a trademarked intellectual property. This is Rise In. I just came up with that. I'm original. And it's gonna take place in the old western town of Agua Fria. But this is after the bombs dropped, so it's now New Fria. Rise in New Fria. Don't that just roll off the goddamn tongue? On day 7, I worked a 12-hour shift at my real job and didn't have any time to work on the game. Sorry. I sorry. So it's day 8, and we are less than halfway through the Trello board. If you operate at all past a 3rd grade math level, you'll know that kinda means we're boned unless we start to, lock the fuck in. So 2 pretty big things we can immediately get out of the way is having the start main menu actually load into the main game scene. With that done, I just started working on a pause menu that says paused and has a big exit button. Because God knows I'm not gonna try and make a settings menu right now. I'm not in the mental state for that. Then I finally added a UI element that tells you how much ammo you have in your revolver. It's much easier to implement this with only 1 weapon. Now, if you think I'm going to spend the time to animate the chamber rotating and have the guns and bullets inside the chamber update depending upon how much ammo's in your reserve, you're smoking crack, dick, meth, and balls. I'm not doing all that, and I have no idea how to do all that, okay? Now, it's time to incorporate enemies into the game. Except I have no idea how to animate or model enemies. Do I say model weird? Model? And there's no easy to use ones I can just grab off the internet, which means I think I'm just gonna have to learn. Just fucking kidding! Who do you think I am? I simply just exploited the labor of miners in my Discord for free work. Join it, by the way. Check out this cool model they made. It's pretty sick. I couldn't do this. So while the exploited miners were making a model for me that's animated and can update depending upon the player's state, I decided to work on the enemy AI. So now you can enter an enemy's range, and they come over to you and attack you. Kind of like how every other game works. I also made it so you only get attacked once every 1.5 seconds, because I don't know if you guys know this, but if you update an attack every single frame, you're just gonna get fucking melted like a Dark Souls boss. For the nerds in the chat, that's called an iframe. And while I wait for them to finish the animations on all the models, I'm gonna make some low poly world assets. Come on. We both know I'm lying at this point. I just grabbed an asset pack. Shout out to this guy for his sick models. However, incredibly inconsiderate to not add textures to them, because I never, ever want to have to see the inside of this application for the rest of my life. And by the time that was done, I had received the finished mole rat model. In what world do you think a guy named Trash Cans would be able to do this? We all know I can't, so just accept the fact that there's someone else in the world willing to do this for me so I can make this video, okay? Oh, and the guy's contract stipulation was I have to shout him out in the script, so go wishlist his game right now. He's goated and does good work and helped get this video out in time. Do it! His words, not mine. I had to legally say that. Now, at this point in the video, nobody was thinking about this, but the the Pip-Boy still looks like shit. So I reworked it a bit, and if anything, I made it look worse, but at least the colors match now. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I am plain sick of inflation. A fleshlight for $70, an Arizona iced tea for $1.50, a stim pack for 50 caps, Nuka-Cola for 10 caps? Ridiculous. So I, as the god of this world, am taking a stand. Nuka-Cola will now permanently be 3 caps. Stim packs will now permanently be 10 caps. And that is my segue into saying I made a vending trading machine where you can, get caps and buy items in the world, because I didn't know how else to add that into the script. And yes, the shooting glitch still does happen for some reason. When you left click inside menus and then close menus, your gun just shoots. I don't know why it's saving that input, and I don't know how to fix it. It's saying And yes, I know at this point it seems like I'm not really getting that much done per day, but it's because 60% of my time is debugging random bullshit like this, but that's not entertaining for a YouTube video, so I just leave it out. If you got a problem with that, fight me. Okay, so I really don't feel like setting up and animating human models, so we're gonna take a page out of Fallout 76 and kind of make every area a ghost town where the only people are dead bodies. You know the game is gonna be good when they say they're using Fallout 76 as their inspiration. And with that, I began laying out the framework for the quest system. So now you can open your Pip-Boy and have the data tab update with your current quest objective. Then I also thought the world was a bit devoid of detail, so I added a couple dead bodies scattered around. I ate ramen before recording. I don't know why his body parts disappear like that, and I also don't know why my dog teabags him like that, but it's kind of funny, so we're keeping it in. Then I also wanted the UI to be a bit more Fallout-y, so I added a compass. I didn't do the square, rotaty kind of compass that's normally in Bethesda games, solely for the fact that the spinny kind is comically easy to implement. I had DMR rework some of the textures for the mole rat and radroach, so while he was doing that, I was gonna try and perfect the enemy AI, because I don't think they're supposed to do that. Then I finally got back all of the finished models, and we added a giant fucking bomb! Hell yeah! This is Fallout, in case you forgot, except not really, because that's a trademark patented IP. This is Ryzen, not Ryzen the CPU, but Ryze-in. Then I replaced the bottles you have to shoot with actual Sunset Sarsaparilla bottles and place these yucca fruits around the map that the player can actually collect. Then the rest of the day was just spent debugging the inventory code so it actually, you know, works! I began to outline the town, but I realized a lot of the textures were kind of messed up on the models, so I put my laborer back to it. While my minion was doing that, I imported the mole rat with all its finished animations and textures. I have no idea how I'm going to implement this into the enemy code, but gonna burn that bridge when we get there. So I started setting up the animations, but I'm not an animator. Well, that's just terrifying. And yep, that one's also definitely not right. Damn it! I got sick of trying to get the animations and AI to work, so I finished fleshing out the layout of the town. And with all of that done, the only thing to finish was the rest of the quest, placing items everywhere and getting the enemies to work right. But that sounds like a problem for future me. Is it probably a bad idea to wait until the final day to implement some of the most important game mechanics? Yep. Yes, it is. The animations, it kind of works. It's better than them just floating at you, so we're gonna call it good for there. We're gonna call it good there. Then I got the rad roach working inside the game as well, and it took me until day 14 to add him, because honestly, I forgot I told him to make me it. The enemies are still really buggy. Get it? I think the nav mesh has a really hard time baking on top of complex structures like buildings and the terrain. But this is the final day, and they kind of work, so I don't really want to risk breaking anything, so we're gonna have to call it there. Then I changed around the starting location a little bit and made it so that when you kill enemies, you get a couple caps. So now you can actually use the vending machine system I made that I totally did not forget about until just now. With that done, I needed to make the final location. And as I said earlier, in case you little zoomers with zero attention span forgot, I said I didn't want to have any NPCs in the town. So I needed a good reason for all of the NPCs to be gone. So the final location is a nest where all of the enemies in the world killed and dragged and ate the local NPCs of the town. See, me not wanting to do work isn't me being lazy. It's actually just it's just part of the lore. Part of the lore of the game. I would kill, I mean murder with my bare hands for the job it is at Bethesda to just place shit around the world. Cause this is by far the most fun I've had with this entire project. I love this. With all that done, the only thing that was left to do was create the intro and outro. Now, in the last video, I spent multiple hours animating this in Unity, but an astute observer pointed out that you can just make animations in DaVinci or Premiere and then play them in-game. Kinda like how, you know, every other game company does it. So now when you press start, the intro plays, and when you complete the final objective and leave the world, the outro plays. Then on the main screen, I added a little prompt which shows you the controls for the game. I kind of assumed everyone would just know how the controls in a Fallout game works, but seeing as half my audience is apparently under the age of 14, they might not have ever played a Fallout game before, so there you go. But in 14 days, I made a game that has enemy, weapons, inventory, and menu systems, as well as a clear introduction, plot, and ending. All the while being a respectful homage to Fallout with the different items, themes, and weapons inside the game. So I think I succeeded in my goal of recreating an abstract Fallout remake in 14 days. Will that generalized statement probably make people mad? Yeah. Do I care? Yeah, but I have to pretend I don't because this is the internet. Remember to subscribe. I was a lot more high energy in this one than I was in my last ones, so I'm real fucking sweaty. Oh my god, I'm fucking stanking up this room. So if you enjoyed, subscribe and I might send you some sweaty feet pics. Who knows?